All right. So welcome, Devani, to the Feminine Frequency podcast. It is an honor to have you here with us today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's been beautiful to see since we've met each other, how much each of us has grown and changed. And I'm excited to really learn more about where this path of inviting more of the feminine into your world has taken you. So I'd love for you to share a little bit about your background as a business owner. And I know that you are, I would say, spiritual CEO type role. And I love how you combine the two. So if you would share a little bit more about your journey into bringing more magic into your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love to say I try to embody the goddess CEO as much as I can. I've been an entrepreneur now for 10 years. I run a social media management and Facebook ad
Hope
management
your audio
company.
cut out.
Can you hear me
Okay.
now?
Yeah, we can just cut it. Okay, so you can start with you've been goddess CEO and entrepreneur. Go ahead.
Yeah, got a CEO, an entrepreneur for the last 10 years. And I help entrepreneurs with leveraging Facebook ads, Instagram, social media to be able to market themselves. So I work a lot with healers and coaches and helping them to market themselves online to make their impact and make their income that they desire. And then, entrepreneurship is such a inner journey, right? I really feel like for us women entrepreneurs, soul-driven women, it's like a gateway to help us to tap into who we truly are. And so there's so many lessons and growth opportunities that I've been able to experience through entrepreneurship, which has been pretty amazing.
Beautiful. Yeah. And a lot of our listeners are entrepreneurs. And then there's also a lot of women here who are in the hustle and in the grind and looking for a way to invite more relaxation in, invite more health in, start to learn how to listen to their intuition. So could you share a little bit about your journey of shifting out of the hustle and grind mode, still being successful and inviting more of the ease into your life?
Yeah, definitely. So, I spent a lot of my beginning years building my business in like so much hustle energy, and hustle energy when it's not coming from a pure heart of being inspired and being ambitious, there's usually this underlying fear that's going on that's actually an energy of scarcity. Like, if I don't work this hard, I won't achieve what it is that I desire. It's like not fully believing that you're worthy or that you're capable of achieving your goals and your visions. And so that was driving a lot of the energy of my business. And I was in constant fear of feeling overwhelmed, fear of time scarcity, in the feast and famine roller coaster financially. Like, it leaks into all areas. And so I built my business to the multiple six-figure level, but it was with so much hustle and burnout. And then I got to this place just this couple years ago, 2017, where my body was just like, enough. My soul was like, enough. Like, you can't keep trying to achieve and have success in this way. And that was a pivotal year for me. That was when I went through a very big spiritual awakening, and I decided to let half of my business go. And when I let half of my business go and I was like, what am I going to do financially? Like, what is happening? Like, the universe like stepped in, and it allowed me to be supported with clients while working less and being able to really support on my healing journey. And so it started to rewire some of these patterns that had been ingrained in me, some of these things that I picked up, from my dad, watching him work so hard as a little girl and thinking like, you have to work really hard to achieve, or you're not worthy of achieving unless you're working really hard, and you're not going to get that significance or deep down that love, acknowledgement that we all really want. And so I started to create this new reality, and I started to shift these things in my body and in my nervous system, these patterns that I had been running for a really long time, and really learned how to start working less and achieving more by healing those parts of me that felt unworthy of receiving unless it came from hard work, healing those parts of me that was feeling scarcity in areas, and really helping me to like align and work from a more of a place of ease and flow.
Mhm.
And I still, I'm not perfect with it. I have drastically changed my business so much going through this journey. But this is like a collective paradigm wound that we have, especially as women, of thinking that we have to work like men in this masculine energy, or just masculine. So masculine, feminine doesn't have to be male or female, but in this energetic way. And learning that us women, we have the ability to be able to tap into our intuition. We have the able to be receive downloads and creativity and work more with our cycles, understanding the moon, understanding our own personal cycles, to be able to work in a way that I refer to as more of the goddess CEO way, which is really listening to ourselves, not getting that place of burnout. Where's the energy coming from of when you're doing something? What is that underlying energy underneath that? And so that's been the journey that I've been on. And then last year I got really sick, and I think it was the universe's way, my spirit guide saying, we're going to show you that your business isn't going to fall apart when you're doing absolutely nothing. Like I was like bedridden for about 2 months. And it was amazing what transpired from that and the lessons that came through in that, and really showing us that there's a false reality that we have to work really, really hard, and that we can achieve more by aligning to the things and doing the inner work, and then taking the right actions from a place of alignment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, really powerful. I love this goddess CEO archetype that you're cultivating and creating. And I'm curious to know from you, you mentioned that one of the signs when you knew that you could no longer operate in the old paradigm, because the old paradigm is work, 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 no matter whether you're a male or a female. And when we look at the physiology for women, our adrenals are far more sensitive, our hormones are far more sensitive, and we're actually not meant to be operating at such a high cortisol stress level all the time. Men aren't either, but specifically women, we have much more sensitive systems. And especially when women are suppressing their intuition and suppressing, not listening to their bodies, eventually something gives, right? So
Right.
for someone who might be in that work, work, work mode and really exploring, like, how could I even shift? What are some signs that would be indicative of that they should be or what can they tune into to feel if they're overworking or if they need to find more balance?
Yeah. So, I mean, the really big signs is like you're cranky. You're cranky. You're having conflict in your personal relationship. You are constantly feeling like you're not supported, that you are feeling that there isn't enough time. You're in it and doing the motions, and it's not coming from a place of feeling lit up. It's coming from a place of this lack energy, and that's like the biggest sign. And like knowing something like doesn't feel right, but thinking, but I have to keep going, but I have to keep going. No, you don't. Like there's something that is telling you, and you intuitively also know as well. So when then you get yourself to finally slow down and sit in that meditation or take those breaths or go to that yoga class, and you have some of those ideas and thoughts and wisdom come through, which is your higher self, which can only come through when we slow down and create space for it. And if those messages are coming through and you know what they are, and you know that you're clearly not listening, then that's the time where something has to change. And then there's the clear like body breakdown, right? So whether you're, actually spraying something or you're having pain or something, there's usually some sort of, because all emotions connected to the body, and stress is connected to the body. Something's going to flare up also in your system to give you that sign.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that for many of my clients when they're not listening to the signs. Eventually, like there's usually a health complication, or things just start to feel really challenging in their life. Maybe things that weren't challenging before are now just feeling really difficult in their relationships, things flaring up in their bodies. And it's really your body and your soul calling for your attention, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I'd love for you to talk more about what this goddess CEO energy feels like. So when someone starts to shift, or when a woman starts to shift out of this more masculine mode of doing things, what does it feel like to be in that goddess energy from your experience and what you've seen with your clients?
Yeah, great question. So this energy is like she completely trusts that all of her desires and visions and impact is going to be met and going to be created. Like she is moving forward in business and in life in a way where she knows that it is already happening. And all she has to do is continue to tune in to the things that feel good, tune into the things that allow play and feelings of good into her life, well on her way. And then, because everything we do in our life and in our business, we're communicating first through energy. And so your energetic state is going to transpire through every single decision and everything you do, the way you show up in work, the way you show up as an entrepreneur, the way you attract people in your life, your relationships, your money, all of that. And so the goddess CEO is like fiercely grounded in this knowing that the universe has her back, that everything is transpiring, that everything is lining up, that she can and does have the time to allow for meditation, to allow for tuning in, to allow for slowing down. And basically, she's getting herself out of the matrix, and these limited thinkings, and knowing that she is abundant, that she has resources available, and that she has the ability to tune in and listen and take action. And also, she's not worried about taking perfect action. Like she's great with taking imperfect action, because I know a lot of us can get stuck on, am I doing the right thing? Am I making the right decision? And so it's really about this deep trust that every single decision that you make is going to be a great decision that's always going to lead you back where you need to go, because your soul will guide you there. So it's like, if I could put it all in one word, it's trust.
Mm-hmm. And that feeling of trust is exactly the opposite of what most people feel. And I want to kind of create a vision of what those two feelings might feel like, or what that might sound like in someone's mind. So when you're in a space of self-doubt, constantly questioning yourself, questioning your decision, questioning whether you should be in the job that you're in, questioning how you talk, how you look, how you act, is it perfect? That energy, that feels really heavy, and it's not enjoyable for you to experience, nor is it enjoyable for other people to experience through your energy. But when you come from that place of trust and surrender, it feels right now, as I'm feeling it, it's like a deep exhale, right? I can actually relax. I don't have to try and control every single minute, every single dollar. And from that space of relaxation is what you were talking about, is the attraction space. So can you talk a little bit more about your experience with manifestation and how you bring that into your life and into your relationship and into your business?
Yes. So, manifestation. We all want to become experts in manifestation. And what I've learned from my experience around manifestation is that the more that I focus on what it is that I desire, the more it actually pushes it away, which it seems like the complete opposite, right? But here's the thing is when you're focusing on what you want so bad, when you focus on it, you're actually focusing on you not having it. So the focus actually gets on the gap of you not having it. So what I've learned through manifestation is being clear on what it is that you desire, stating it to the universe. I do this through journaling. I do this through writing a story or writing a movie as if something has already happened. And then I release it. And I will tune in and tap into the energy and doing visioning around it. And I'll feel into what it feels like to be there. I will wrap myself as much into this movie and into this situation and into this outcome and feel filled with gratitude. And then I just have to work on keeping the ego, monkey mind, reptilian brain, whatever you want to call it, the chatterbox that's going on, keep her as silent as possible, keep her out of the driver's seat. And that takes fierce commitment and the ability to have a high level of awareness of your thoughts. So every time that thought comes in where you're thinking about it again, and then you're thinking about the gap, and then you're thinking about how it's not going to work, or you're questioning, or all these sort of things, anything that's bringing up the worry, it's like, how do you flip that? How do you switch that? What's an affirmation that you have in the mind? What is something else you can redirect your thoughts to? Because we think that if we worry about it, we're going to control it. And if we're going to control it, we're actually going to control the outcome, which doesn't make any sense. What you're just doing is you're turning the radio dial to the dial of worry versus keeping it on the radio dial of being aligned and knowing it's already happening and that you don't even need to worry about it. What are things that feel good right now, that I'm blessed for, that I'm grateful in my life right now? What are things that I can look forward to? Because as you line on those feelings and thoughts and you're on that frequency dial, you're going to keep attracting more of that.
This can be such a foreign concept for people who are not used to trusting and letting go and like, what? I just need to feel the energy and relax. And yes, this is the process of rewiring the brain, rewiring the way that you're operating. And when you're in alignment, when you come back to listening to your body, listening to yourself, things open up really quickly and the universe sends you signs that you're on the right track. It's almost like there's this floodgate saying, yes, like we've been waiting for you to listen to yourself. We've been waiting for you to feel worthy of receiving things that feel good, money, relationships, friendships. And until we're ready to surrender and trust, that stuff is often blocked. I'd love to know from you, what is something that you like, what's your favorite manifestation that you've had in the last year? What are you most excited about that you've manifested into your life?
So many things. I would say the biggest thing that comes to mind is my soulmate, because I worked very hard for a long time. I mean, definitely started my journey towards healing myself with the intention of finding a powerful soulmate that I'm going to spend my life with, about 4 years ago. And then really aggressively the last year, I went through massive healings and shifts and all sorts of things transpired. And so for him to finally come in was a huge accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. What were some of the methods that you used to do some of that deeper work? What were some of the things that you, either tools that you used or things that you had to look at that were blocking you before, that maybe you didn't see before?
Yeah. Really, really great question. So there's a few things. One thing that I would say was really powerful is writing a forgiveness letter to all of the men in my life, from my dad to my boyfriends, and really like forgiving the wounded masculine, knowing that like men are just doing the best they can and with the tools that they have, and really finding that like forgiveness, for that anger that's stored like deep in there that we're not even like realizing that's there, but it is there. Because I think most of us can relate that we've had situations where men have been unfaithful in some way, or we have been unfaithful in some way, and whatever that may be. And so forgiving them, forgiving myself, that also getting really clear on the patterns of relationships. So there's some incredible books that I've read, from How We Love to the 5 Personality Patterns and Deeper Dating, to understand myself better and to understand how I attract the men that I've attracted. Because if you look back, there's always like a certain thread to things. And so I had to get clear on what those wounds were. And usually those wounds are associated to like our father or how we were raised, and getting really clear on those wounds to be able to heal those parts of me that would keep attracting the same type of man, even though I said I didn't want that type of man. There's a pattern in my system that I was running that was still attracting that and making that man seem attractive to me. But then I would get in the relationship and then it would be not what I wanted. And so, yeah, so deep healing work, I did that through energy work, awareness work, understanding more about myself. Like How We Love is a really incredible book to see kind of patterns that you run. And then attach. So understanding that I was more of an anxious attached people then want to go after the avoidant. They feel bored when they're with a person that is secure, and like understanding attachment styles are really key too. And so I was always attracting men that were avoidant and then would not give me the attention and the presence because they weren't able to, and vice versa. And so, yeah, a lot of healing work, a lot of like awarenesses.
Yeah. And thank you so much for diving into that and sharing that, because I think manifestation can be a buzzword, and it can be something, oh, this is so magical and it's easy and all you have to do is think about your intention and then forget about it and then it comes in. But in order to manifest, there's deeper work that has to be done in order to get into alignment so that you don't keep attracting the same things that you were attracting before. And thank you for sharing a little glimpse into the work that you've done, because it didn't just happen by thinking about your soulmate, writing about what you wanted, and then forgetting about it, right? It took being courageous enough to do the inner work to look at, hey, how am I partaking in this situation? How am I manifesting the same types of relationships over and over again? And that's really hard to do. A lot of people are not willing to do that. It's easier to say, oh, there's no good men out there, it's their fault. But a pattern's a pattern, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. And knowing that when you want to manifest something and you put a desire out that you want, that the universe is going to bring you the things that you need to work through in order to get there. So it's going to shine a light on the darkness, and then it's going to bring people into your life that can support you. And so the universe is giving you what you need, but you have to be aware, to be open to understanding whether you're going to say yes to the call, and you're going to say yes to the people that are showing up. You're going to, actually take a look at the situations that are happening. Like there were so many tests that I received before my soulmate came in, of all these different relationships that were teaching me things that were part of the healing of my heart that I had to go through. And when I look back on it, I was like, oh my God, like everything was leading me to that. It was all happening for a reason. But while you're in it, you can beat yourself up. Why is this happening? Why am I attracting this? Why am I having these feelings? This isn't working. Where is he? Why isn't he here yet? Where everything was leading me to, my desires. So it's trusting in the process of knowing that the universe has already listened to the desires. And again, back to that deep trust and surrender. So, but it's not always easy. It's a muscle that has to be, strengthened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in that space of this isn't working out, I'm trying so hard, nothing's changing, when really the growth happens over time, and the universe will test you to see if you're ready to receive what it is that you're asking for. What would you say is different about this partnership that you've called in, the dynamics, and what is different in the communication patterns than what was happening in the past for you?
Oh, so much. Well, I was very clear on like calling in somebody that had also done level of deep work and growth as well. And so he has this beautiful skill set that allows us to navigate through conflict, because conflict's going to come up, especially when you call in like a powerful soulmate, and an alpha male, which I did. And so, you got one person that wants their way, one person wants their way, and then you're fusing your lives together and you're co-creating. And so when you're on that journey of co-creating, it's just, I had never could imagine in my wildest dreams someone that can communicate through that to the level. So there's this deep level of safety, level of vulnerability, and level of full acceptance. And that's beautiful. And then, I would say, I have very specific things that I outlined in my vision. One of my girlfriends created what's called the strict 7, and it's not like he needs to be this certain weight, tall, dark, and handsome. It's not about that. It's more about the deep values. It's more about what you need as a woman, of getting clear. Like, I desire someone that has the vision, and has the deep value of also personal growth, and that's the number one for them. Someone that is healthy, health conscious, doesn't do drugs, doesn't drink much, all those sort of things, very important to me. And someone makes me feel safe on all levels, spiritually, physically, financially, emotionally. And so I've never had someone that has walked into my life that has like hit all of my things that are deeply important to me. So it's amazing. And someone, like, we started out as best friends first. So it's like really funny how the universe put this person in front of me. I was looking for my soulmate. I'm building this relationship with this guy, with my friends, and turned into best friends. We were dating buddies. We're literally like coaching each other on how to date each other without even realizing it. And I was like, there's no way I could date Ryan. Like, there's no way. Like, he's my bestie. And like, I'm helping him. Like, I was setting him up with girlfriends and stuff like that. And he was like right in front of my eyes the whole time. And it wasn't until my heart was fully ready that the lens got removed, and he like claimed me in this really powerful way. And I was like, okay, what is this? And so I love it, because it's like just proof that a lot of times what we want is right under our nose, but we're not ready to see it yet.
Such a fun story. I also wasn't ready when I met my partner. When we initially met, neither of us were ready, so we weren't a match yet. And there was a lot of work that I had to do and that he was working on for himself until we were a match too. So I can definitely relate to that. And I just want to share for the listeners that this type of relationship, this dynamic of feeling safe with your partner, of feeling like you can be yourself, of being able to be in your feminine, of having clear communication, being able to work through conflict, is available for every single woman, and that you don't need to or get to settle for anything that isn't making you feel filled up in that way. And so this is the new paradigm of relationships. So thank you for sharing your experience, or part of your experience, to show women what's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Number one thing is don't settle. And that was one thing that I really struggled with. And knowing you're worthy, that, I had an ex tell me, like, what you want is not possible, that that it is a fantasy. And, there was something in that he was supposed to say to me, because there was something that lit a fire under me that was like, no, like, what I want is possible. And I am not going to let my standards be taken down or my vision be taken down. I know that this is possible. And then seeing it come into fruition is like, yes, it is possible. So whatever your desires are and your visions are, like, it's been planted in you for a reason. It's not over the top. You are worthy of having it. And you just get to stay committed to that vision of knowing that is possible.
Yes, yes, yes. Amazing. So, how are you integrating all of these pieces of your personal development and of the energy work that you're doing? How are you integrating that into your business and into your life now? Can you share a little bit more about how that's come into play in your business?
Yeah, definitely. So, it's first like starting every day with me, right? Filling my own cup with meditation, with journaling or exercise or whatever it is that looks like. Um, and also, I infuse energy work into everything that I do, whether I'm running ads for a client or doing a strategy session or running my team. I'm always making sure that I'm aligned first energetically, and we're infusing energy and love into all of these campaigns and strategies, support that we're giving for clients. And continuing to tap into myself, you know, I'm highly sensitive, very sensitive to the moon, to other people, highly empathic, and understanding that there's going to be days where I need to take more rest and more breaks, or I need to take a whole afternoon off. And it's really listening to myself, listening to my body, listening to my emotions, not being a victim to my emotions, but nurturing that part of me that's telling me it needs something, and not making myself wrong for that, and not making myself fear that I'm not getting all the things done. And so feeling guilty for taking that time, and knowing the more that I'm aligned and the more that I'm in my power, the more my clients are going to get results, my team's going to be happy. And so being selfish in how my energetic state is and whatever I need to do to make sure that I'm taken care of.
Such a new paradigm of how women are being called to operate from, because the old paradigm of putting everyone else first and not listening to your emotions and making yourself wrong for your emotions, and that's not working anymore. It's not creating deep connected relationships. It's definitely contributing to a lot of mental health issues, a lot of unneeded stress that's happening. So it's really beautiful to see you running a very successful business, and it's inspiring to see you shift. A lot of women have to shift from the feminine into like learning how to work hard and learning how to make money. And I actually think that it's almost just as challenging to go from being a CEO where you know that you're successful because you work so hard, and then trusting that if you shift into this new way of being, that everything is still going to work out.
Right. Yep. Yep. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, I have really, really enjoyed learning all about your manifesting and relationship, and I'm sure the listeners have too. So if they want to continue following you and connecting with you, where can they find you?
Yeah. So Instagram, I'm at Devani Freeman, Devani Freeman, Freeman. And on Facebook, I have a group called Goddess CEO Sisterhood. So they can definitely check that out. And then my website's devanifreeman.com.
Amazing. I will definitely drop all of those in the show notes, and everyone head over to the Facebook group. I think that's a really fun way to connect with your community and to continue learning all about this archetype of the goddess CEO that you are courageously sharing with the world. So thanks, Deb. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Oh.